So over Christmas, I'm in the kitchen, I'm cleaning the dishes, my mom's behind me, and without realizing it, I was humming, "We are Charlie Kirk." My mom turns around, she goes, "What did you just say? We are what?" And I couldn't even explain it to her. How do you explain to someone older, "Oh, I was just humming the AI Charlie Kirk song that's been stuck in my head the past few weeks, mom." It doesn't even make sense to me. How am I supposed to explain it to her? And rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. This video isn't really about him. It's a discussion on like what is going on. Why are kids photoshopping themselves with Epstein? Putting Epstein in drippy Supreme North Face collabs. What's going on with the internet and our humor, and where's this going? And to be honest, to talk about this, honestly, I have to say, I find myself laughing at some of this shit. And that's part of the problem, right? I can't say I'm morally above this. And that's part of the reason I'm trying to understand it. So this was something I hesitated to make a video on, to be honest, because these jokes, some of them are dark, but I haven't seen anyone else make a video on this, and probably for a good reason. It's kind of a crazy video to make. So let's talk about it. And before we do, people like to say, "Oh, it's just the internet. The internet is not reality." And I've been thinking about that. I think it's time to accept that, yes, the internet isn't reality, but it shapes it. Every day it becomes more and more clear to me the impact the internet has on reality. So we got to stop pretending like there's no connection. The new mayor of New York City just won because he knew how to use the internet to his advantage. And he's about to move in to the mayor's mansion with his girlfriend that he met on the internet. So this idea that the internet is this separate thing that doesn't impact real life at all,
Just turn it off, bro.
it sounds nice, but unfortunately that's a boomer take now, and we got to move past that. If you grew up when I did, you already know the internet's always been dark, like from the very start. I don't think something has ever happened that was so bad that it was like off limits in terms of being joked about. But obviously, in the past few years, it's ramped up for sure. And I'm gonna get to why. But something I try to explain to older people is like, as a generation, we are desensitized to tragedies at this point. Like, you show a boomer something tragic, and they're out of commission for like a week, dude. They're just devastated. Where me, it's like I'm sad, I'm devastated too, but I've seen what feels like every tragic event that's happened in the past, like, I don't know, 15 years because of the internet. Like, I remember being like 10 years old on the computer with my friends watching like the whole Newtown shit go down. And then another tragedy, and then another tragedy. It's like, the way I think about it, it's like if you saw a car explode every single day on the way to work, car blows up. The first day you're gonna be like, holy shit. But then after a couple blow ups, eventually you're gonna be like, oh, the car's gonna blow up again. So I think constantly seeing shit go down on the internet from a young age, it's kind of made it so when shit does go down, it doesn't cut as deep for people that are my age. And at this point, I purposefully ignore the news, like sad news stories. I got too much. Call me selfish. I got too much on my plate to be dealing with that shit. Like, I'm always getting texts like,
Yo, did you see what happened to blah blah blah? And bro, they
Didn't catch the shooter yet.
I'm just like, yo, like at this point, keep it all away from me, dude. Every time I'm in the gym, I look up at the TV. It's like, oh, great, the helicopter crash, bunch of dead people. I'm really glad that I'm informed about this now. But in a way, it's too late. Like, I've seen what I've seen. You know what I mean? And as someone who used to be a smoker, using any app that has an algorithm, with the exception of maybe YouTube, feels exactly like smoking a cig. If you start looking around, you'll notice people take scroll breaks now. I'm not even joking. Start looking for it. And an app like Twitter, especially, where a lot of these jokes are born, a lot of these memes, you get that quick hit that feels good when you light one up, when you first open it up. And when you're not doing it, you're thinking about doing it, you're like, oh, one would go crazy right now. But long term, just like smoking, that shit takes a toll. You're like, why am I even putting myself through this? It stops hitting the deeper you get into the addiction. So here's my theory. The algorithms, we already know, push and reward the crazy shit that makes us feel something. But what's required to make us feel anything these days, get a laugh out of us, get any type of emotion out of us, is getting more and more fried. Like, if you look back at the shit that we were laughing at like 10 years ago, bro, you guys remember this guy?
I just want to chill.
I mean, that's slop, yeah, but it was quality slop compared to what we got now. Now the shit that makes people go, oh shit, no way, I gotta send this to the bros is heinous. You know, it's Epstein dripping in Supreme or Kirk in the Avengers movie trailer. It's like our tolerance for slop is going up. It's getting sloppier out here. Pause. But I am curious if other countries are dealing with this right now too, or if China and Russia are just like rubbing their hands, laughing at us as we get dumber and dumber and our humor decays. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you guys remember the Mr. Beastification of everything a few months back. This was, for me, the first taste of this. People just started slapping Mr. Beast on a bunch of random shit. It's total slop, right? But it doesn't make any sense, but it was ridiculous enough. It was so stupid that it got me to press like at the time. I was like, this is insane. Send this to the bros for no reason. And that's really all this shit is. Things that don't make sense are quickly becoming the funniest things. Because what does make sense right now in this world? Like literally nothing. In a world where everything real feels like a joke, it's like the jokes need to punch a little harder. I mean, laughing at shit has always been like a way of coping. If you look at comedians, you almost have to be an ex-junkie or been through some crazy ass shit to be a good comedian. And in general, like people who have been through shit are almost always funnier than people who haven't. But on the internet, it's like we have all collectively gone through something that has never before been gone through, which is watching crazy shit constantly unfold over and over and over. So I think some of these jokes kind of represent coping with that. And I feel like we got to be honest. It's easy to put the blame on these anonymous Twitter profiles that are pumping this garbage out. But none of this would be happening without two things. The first being the algorithms that these social media companies are using to keep us addicted. And now the new evil twin, AI and AI video generation. Like jokes have always been made, you know, like 9/11 jokes, for example, which I never liked. How long have those been going on for? But the ability now for anybody to just instantly create any visualization they want to and then share it and use the algorithm to spread it like a disease, if the blame needs to get put on anyone, I think it needs to be put on the dweebs that won't stop dropping all this technology like as fast as they can, making billions and billions of dollars without stopping for a second to think about like the consequences. It's like
Slow down.
it's greed, but it's I don't know, it's dangerous, man. Because this shit is so new and happening so fast that we're all just like along for the ride at this point. Like in a way, it kind of highlights how dumb this AI shit is. We don't need this type of technology. I'm talking about like the video image generation shit. They market it like, oh, it's gonna be revolutionary. It's gonna change entertainment forever. It's like, no, people are generating light skin Mr. Beast with it. You know what I mean? And now, obviously, what we see all over Twitter has gotten so bad that there's a name for it. It's literally called Kirk Slop. And, you know, pair that with this song, dude, this stupid ass song that I can't get out of my head, which, by the way, charted on Billboard. I had to know more about that song. So I looked into it. The person in quotes who drops these songs isn't, you know, actually a person. Obviously, it's AI. They pump out an album like every single day. I mean, they dropped an entire Charlie Kirk album, dude. So that this output of this much slop is only possible because of AI. You know, they say a broken clock is right once a day or whatever. Eventually, it shat out a song that is so annoyingly mind-bendingly catchy that I cannot get it out of my head. I'm walking around humming "We Are Charlie Kirk" in my head, dude. Like, and I'm not even someone who uses like TikTok or Instagram like that. The way I see the world now, I can pretty much put anything into one of two categories, which is like, okay, this is slop or this is not slop. And all this shit I'm talking about today is the definition of slop. It seems like every day more and more fits into that category and the slop becomes stronger and stronger. But the good news is there is still a ton of non-slop out there, and you can put yourself at an advantage right now by not melting your brain, getting songs like these stuck in your head. So our brains are literally melting. I mean, long term, this AI shit and the consequences of it, I can't even think about for too long, or else I start bugging out. I just want to enjoy every single day for as long as I can, because in 5 years, everything will look so different. But in the short term, and this is probably dumb, because I should be more concerned with the fact that, every meme that gets generated wipes out a tree or a pond or some shit somewhere in the middle of the country. But right now, my concern is comedy. Kind of dumb, I know, but I just feel like comedy is like a dying art. Our sense of humor is starting to make no sense. And like, I don't know any comedians who are funny, to be honest. Like, at this point, if you guys have one, can you please drop them below? I swear I haven't found a comedian funny since like Joey Diaz 10 years ago. So, Joe Rogan and his goons being the top selling comedians right now, it's just the best way to visualize how bad comedy is. And, like I said earlier, this idea that the internet and reality aren't the same is outdated at this point. I was at a comedy show a few weeks ago, and this guy comes onto the stage. He starts his set off by saying, "Merry Kirkmas, everybody." And the entire crowd started geeking. So maybe the craziest thing about this, I know people that were so upset about what happened. I was upset myself about watching that go down. And I'm still laughing at these memes about it. There's this thing where even if you're a fan of someone or think that these jokes are wrong and dark, which they are, but they'll still make you laugh. Another example, one of my favorite artists when I was younger was this rapper named XXX He did some terrible shit himself, but basically he was gunned down at 19 years old. And that shit to this day doesn't sit right with me. Like, all that talent gone. And then 6 years later, seeing people make fun of him with AI and his kid and just how cringe he was, it's like, jeez, man. And this is someone who made music that millions of people heard and felt. Like me, myself, I love this dude's music. And to this day, I can't believe that he died. But there I was laughing at one of these AI videos that was making fun of him. So that's why I don't even put the blame on the people that are liking and sharing some of these memes that are dark, because I get it. I put the blame on the people that are creating these tools that create these problems. And the truth is, the people making the jokes, like, they get pretty creative with it. Like, some of them are funny. You just have to admit when something's funny. It is crazy to think that no one is exempt from getting memes like this. Like, this has to be the only time in history where dying puts you at a higher risk of becoming a joke than surviving. Empathy is basically not part of any of this equation that I'm talking about today. This isn't going to get better, too. Like, this is just going to get darker. We're going to see this happen a lot more. I think because Charlie Kirk was already all over the internet and already a meme. I mean, he was already on South Park before any of this went down. So it was like this extreme version of it. But this isn't a trend that's about to like stop. The things that get a reaction out of scrollers, out of us, will keep getting more and more out of pocket. There will be more of these, trust me. You know how I compared scrolling to smoking? The difference is when you stop smoking, you always have this chip on your shoulder about it. Like the thought of a drunk cig or a mango jewel pod. Oh my God. To this day, years later, that still sounds tempting to me. But the slop, you don't miss the slop. The jokes, the internet dark humor. I feel like the more I can detach myself from it, the less appealing it looks. But it is becoming more and more ingrained into reality, which means it's going to be harder to detach yourself from it. I don't even use Instagram anymore. I don't even have Twitter on my phone. But I'm still seeing this stuff and I'm still humming this stupid ass song that I hate in my head. I'm finally reading Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Goated read, by the way. But he has this idea, and it's a kind of a comfortable one. I'm not gonna lie. It's like nothing you do actually matters. Like, why are you tripping about this or anxious about that? When in reality, when you die, no one is gonna remember you. Even if you have this huge impact, even if you were famous as shit, like successful, in a couple generations, you will be forgotten. And it sounds dark, but to me, it's like kind of comforting to know it's like now I do what I want type shit. You know what I mean? Like, as messed up and terrible as these jokes are, it almost makes that point even louder. You can be so famous, impact so many people's lives, and still get turned into memes, into slop a bunch of years later. So there's two ways to view that. And the first is being like, what's the point of any of this? Which I don't recommend. That's a big fat spiral waiting to happen. But the other way is like, what's stopping me from doing what I want? Like, other people's opinions? It's like, no. The lion no longer concerns himself with other people's opinions because none of us will be remembered. So what are we tripping about? Life is too short. You know how long I wanted to make a YouTube channel, but I never did because I was too concerned with what people would think about it. People would think I'm weird for doing that. And then one day I was just like, nah, like I'm just gonna do it. And now I have one, and I have all you amazing people watching my videos. There's a version of me that never did this, never, made that step because I was too concerned about what someone else who is a loser. Okay, I shouldn't say that, but basically what I'm trying to say is do whatever you want. Legacy and how you're going to be remembered, who cares? So just spend your life doing the right thing and doing shit that you want to do. And I want to apologize for saying slop so much in this video. I think I said it way too many times, but I mean, the topic of this video, I didn't really have a choice. So let me know what you guys think about all this dark humor and the Kirkification stuff and all that. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Thank you for all the love recently. We've been going nuts. Um, it's awesome. I'm really, I don't know. I always struggle to say thank you, but thank you so much. You guys have no idea how grateful I am every single day to have such a sick audience. So that's it for me. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.